Hi guys, it's Christina Blackfeather. I am just doing kind of a talky video while I prepare some feathers here. I am doing teaching a class on basics of weaving with natural items at Paganicon in Minneapolis, Minnesota on March 17th. I will put a link to the event page in the crotch bar below. But in the meantime, somebody had given me 40 pheasant wings to use for the project, and I am in the process of cleaning these. It's quite a long process, actually. You have to start out with any found feathers, really. You should be doing this. You have to start out with mothballs for 24 hours, which the only place, in a sealed container, of course, and the only place I could find mothballs, of course, was Amazon. My Walmart, which is a trashy Walmart to begin with, didn't have any. And neither did my Cub Foods and stuff like that. Second stage of the process, because you're trying to get rid of, the first phase with the mothballs is to get rid of any fleas and mites. Second stage is with half and half of hydrogen peroxide and rubbing alcohol. Just soak them in it for 24 hours. You can do it with bleach water. The only problem is, what I've seen on other crafting sites, is that bleach will actually make the feathers brittle, where in this case they still have some flexibility. And since I'm going to be teaching kids to actually weave with the feathers, if they're too young to make dream catchers, then I want some flexibility in the feathers. So now the final stage, I'm taking just regular Dawn dishwashing soap and some water, washing them out, getting rid of the alcohol and peroxide, and this process, the whole process doesn't smell very good, I'll tell you. Rinse that out. And then I have to dry all the feathers, you know, flatten them on trays. In this case, I'm doing paper bags on the floor in a shut room, because I don't want the cats to get into it. See, sorry to move the camera. I have a lot of help, as you can tell. He's got to investigate. But I don't want them investigating the feathers when... So I wonder if this would be easier if I just set them on this tray and then drip out the water and then try again. This is really the first time I have done this with a whole bunch of feathers. You're supposed to with any that you find. And of course, unless you have tribal affiliation, you can't pick up and keep feathers that you find from any raptors or migratory birds. That actually includes ravens and crows. But in this case, because it was my friend's game birds that he raises for food, it is legal. So I've got grouse feathers in here too, which are really pretty polka dotted feathers, which are nice. And he butchered almost 40 birds. So it was a lot. Hi, Oscar, you're helpful. You're gonna get a bath, cat. Really. You're gonna have a bath. Smart is not thy middle name. And it really isn't. Yeah, and once these are dry, then I have to floof them out, and they will be ready to use. And of course, I may have a couple that I still have to get. I tried to clean off all the meat residue, because some of them were still full wings attached. Well, most of them were still full wings attached, and so I had to pluck them right off the wing. So yeah, it's prepping feathers like this is a pain. But these will be clean enough that I could easily legally turn around and sell them and not risk people getting sick. You know, like West Nile or anything like that. So, some forms of bird flu. And then, of course, like I said, your first thing you want to do is to get rid of the mites and ticks. And so they don't advise bringing feathers into the house right away. Because, you know, then you have a risk of bringing in mites and ticks. And you have a disaster in the making. So these had been in my garage. They were kept in plastic bags and put in the garage. So, and some of them may or may not survive the process. I don't know yet, but we'll see. But yeah, what I'm basically doing is teaching kids to weave with recycled materials, scrap materials. I'm going to be weaving in branches. So I have a bunch of branches outside I have to cut down to size yet. Some of them I have to make square frames out of, so I have to cut them into small pieces. And then I'm just going to tie them together with hemp. Other ones, I've got the branches that tee off and stuff so that they'll be able to, you know, weave in between the branches. So it's going to be an interesting project. The only thing I'm not happy about is I had to, you know, I was asked to volunteer for this, which was fine. I volunteer face paint for Pagan Pride every single year in Minnehaha Falls, and when we have our Twin Cities Pagan Pride event, and I enjoy that immensely. I mean, I've bought over the years quite a bit of professional face paints. Just for any parent out there, keep in mind, if you see a face painter using acrylic paints, don't go to them. I've seen them at Renaissance festivals and stuff like that because acrylic paint is not meant to be on the human body for any length of time, and a lot of kids will really, really have bad reactions to it. So, yeah, they have to be professional face paints. And Snazaroo, some kids will, even though that's an extremely popular brand, and I have a couple of things of the flat things of their paint. I'm trying to slowly use it up because it is not high quality. And some kids will respond to that too. So for, you know, when I do that, I'm using Wolf and some other ones that are quite a bit more expensive, but it's worth it, you know. I get really good tips and stuff, and it's fun. But this event here, I have no clue what age group I'm getting. See, I didn't get all the meat off of that one. I might have to salt dry that next and save it for a smudge fan or something. Anyway, I have no clue what age group I'm getting. So I've taught art for kindergarten and first grade before in a school, so that, you know, I'm pretty well used to doing that. That's not a big deal. But I'm trying to prepare this project. I'm going to have to do my teaching based on each kid as I see them, I think, because I might even have teenagers, which is just fine, because, you know, if they want to learn to weave dream catchers or something else, that's fine. But then, you know, I had to provide all the supplies, and so I got donated yarn. Then this guy donated the feathers and some branches for me, and I've got like pop can tabs that I've saved up that I was going to sell on eBay, but I'm not. I'm just going to use them for this project and then try to use them for chainmail afterward. And So, I got some found materials. Other people donated yarn. I went to Dollar Tree and got a whole ton of raffia as well in different colors so that they're going to be able to try weaving with that. And then I've got plain raffia someplace in the box here. I got to dig that out yet. And I will bring that as well. Didn't get any luck on pine cones or anything, but, what do you do? But, yeah, so that was fine. And I'm not getting reimbursed for supplies. Well, then came the ticket to get in. It's an expensive event. And I still had to pay. Even though I'm volunteering and I was asked to volunteer, I still have to pay to get in. Which this is an extremely big event, and they tried to get me a discount ticket and the computer system would not apply the discount code. So I ended up paying full price anyway. And which is well and good. I want to see, I get to go to the ball that they're going to have, the costume ball at the end of it. I think it's a costume ball, which I'm not ready for, but I'll figure something out. And then, so that event itself is $25, which is okay, I get in for free. I'm just going to start rinsing these out now. But then, they get a lot of vendors in there, so I kind of want to see what the vendor environment is like. I want to see how big the crowd is, because I've never been to this. So, I just want to go and be able to check it out and see if it's worth Black Feather Crafts having a vendor booth there next year. I may or may not volunteer again. I don't know. I'll see how this goes. And if I do decide to vendor there next year, then volunteering isn't going to be such a big deal. But, yeah, there was some up and downs about this, and you got to kind of watch it when you're doing volunteer events like that. I've had really good luck with Pagan Pride. I am the only face painter there. Except for this year I was training in my best friend's daughter, who's like one of my kids, and she's a pretty good artist and she's still learning, so she gets her own tips and everything, and we had a really good turnout because otherwise I've been getting way too long of lines. I can work pretty fast, but when there's only one face painter in a public park, it can really be a challenge. So it was kind of nice because then I was able to help out with the other children's craft booth at the same time. And then I was able to take potty breaks and go and have food because there'd been a few times where if you do something and you work only on tips like I do at these events, you'd be surprised at what people expect of you. I finally bought different colors of lipsticks because most face painters, if you do lip color, just, take paint and put it around the mouth. It's perfectly safe. Had a woman complain about that. Okay, fine. And so I use a brush and then I use the lipsticks. I had somebody complain about the soap. I use Hibiclens, which is an antibacterial soap, on my brushes. It's a hospital soap, but supposedly that wasn't good enough. I was supposed to have a brand new brush for every single kid that ever showed up. You know how much money I'd spend in brushes every year? Considering some of the fine point brushes I buy are like $10 each. No. And if it's a hospital soap and it's used to disinfect, I'm disinfecting the brush. I'm not applying antibacterial stuff to the kid. So what harm is it, And so there's that. I would get some that complained about the length of the line, and here's a sign that says free face painting. I had people tell me that only kids should be painted on. I paint on anybody. I paint on adults too. So You know, it's like, no, I paint on anyone. If they're in line, they're next. Sorry. Had one lady really go off on me on that one. The other one that they'll do is, even if you put up a sign saying potty break back in 15 minutes, they will not let you leave the table. I have had people argue with me. I had one point, you know, the one day it was 100 degrees out. And I am diabetic, for one thing. So I've always been hypoglycemic, even when I looked like I was anorexic, you know, because I was riding horses 6 to 8 hours a day and cleaning barn and everything. And I weighed 105 pounds, 115 max. And I mean, I passed out on the back of a horse. It just happens. So here I'm sitting at this table and having some food. I'm dizzy. Other people are trying to get water in me because I'd been painting already 6 hours nonstop. People will demand that you do not take any break, that you don't take a sip of water, nothing, even in heat like that. It is just amazing how people will behave if you're offering something that you have the word free attached to it. And, oh, it can be interesting, but, you know, despite that, I meet the nicest kids. I meet some very, very nice parents. And I enjoy it a lot. This is my yearly thing. I had to miss a year because I tore my rotator cuff and couldn't hold my right arm up. And I was really sad about that. And they didn't have a face painter that year. They didn't get anybody in. And so I was kind of glad about that. And I got emails from people saying they missed me and everything else. I paint on people who are in pagan bookstores and just all sorts of things. And that made me feel pretty good. And it's a lot of fun. So we'll see how this class goes. And I won't be able to film at the event, but I should be able to, do a post thing afterwards. I will take photos of the projects or do a quick video of any projects that I happen to, if I can get them lined up on tables. I'm going to get some cheap nail polishes yet because I'm also doing... and cheap acrylics. I've got some to do painting on the pistachio shells that I'm saving and drilling holes in for the kids to be able to hang stuff, because they can hang stuff off of their weavings too. Just some nice project to be able to take home, So yeah, now all I have to do is just lay these out and dry them. So yeah, this one is grouse. Like I said, it's got very nice polka dot pattern on it. These were all from female pheasants, so you don't get the really, really long tails like you do with the males. But yeah, he was already butchering the birds for meat, so it's like, yeah, save me the feathers, I'll take them. And I've got several nice wings I'm going to make into smudge fans and stuff like that. So art-wise, this is going to be a busy year. I have, in 2 months, I have $400 worth of payments that are going to be gone, but then unfortunately I have to do about $300 a month after that to the IRS. But that's still, because now I don't have any dependents, and my kids are moved out, so I don't get a child credit either. So, yeah, taxes change, But, then come August, we have another $600 a month that is paid off. And then it's just tackling leftover medical bills. And getting ready to save up for the RV we want so that we can start traveling to different Renaissance festivals. And sell our chainmail and sell my wool dolls. Because one thing I've found out, I've come to really enjoy doll making as well, doing the needle felted dolls like my dragon. I'm doing another dragon, and it's I'm able to use all my beadwork skills and painting and all the other skills that I've developed over the years, kind of concentrating them into one project, and I really, really enjoy that. So it'd be kind of neat to be able to sell trolls and dragons at the Renaissance festivals. So we'll see where that goes. But anyway, I just thought I would give a quick, well, it wasn't quick, but just a little video on what I'm doing, and I'll talk to you guys later. Blessed be, everybody. Have a great night.